Good morning, welcome out to the original Gordito podcast. It is Monday, July 15th, guys. Excited to be with you. Gonna head out here on the road here in a minute. But let me get you started with some vinyl vibes off the La Bamba soundtrack. It's Bo Diddley. Who do you love? Alright, hope you enjoyed that vinyl vibe to start off your morning. Back on the Bamba soundtrack. You know I gotta go back to it eventually, guys. For those of you watching on the live or not watching on the live, I actually have 0 watchers right now. Settle, because it is 12:45 in the morning, roughly, about on a Monday. And I didn't wake up early. I just haven't been to bed yet. But I'm trying to get this done because first thing in the morning, as soon as I get up, I gotta head to Houston. Be out there for a couple of days, working on a new project, writing some stuff, and so I'm not gonna be here in the morning to get the podcast out. So I had to do it tonight. I gotta finish it up tonight, go to bed, and as soon as I wake up in the morning, I gotta go to Houston. I'll be out there for a couple of days. So if you're in the Houston area, stop by an comedy open mic. I'll be dropping in, checking out some of the open mics out there, because I'll be working during the day. So just wanted to do a short intro to this podcast. It was a fun week that I had. I had a blast. I went out to Charlie's Pub here in Corpus, and I did a show for a couple friends of mine of the band Rez. I did their album release party for their first album. They're now trying to record their second album. They're trying to raise some money for them. The name of the band is Rez, R-E-S-Z. They're like an alt rock type of 90s, real Stone Temple Pilots type of vibe to them. It's really good shit. Check them out. They got their first albums on Google, and they're trying to raise money so they could get in the studio, get the mastering, get the distribution going for their second album. So I'm really looking forward to them. I was glad to stop out there. Had a few OGs come by. They brought a little table out and watched the show, and it was cool. It was different. I was worried because it was like when I got there was like nobody there, and it's kind of like in this like dive bar rock venue. And it filled in nicely though. Everyone out there was really nice. So any new followers that resulted from that outing, thank you for laughing, and thank you for subsequently following me, guys. Speaking of follows, man, we've had a lot of new subscribers on the YouTube. Thank y'all. Special shout out Norwal Music, man. I appreciate you. You've been commenting on the YouTube videos and watching. And thank you for the interaction there. Hi. Speaking of which, who we got? We got some people now. We got Sinea. Don't say hurry. Shout out. Hi. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's early in the morning. I'm recording my podcast here. I do the intro on Instagram. Usually I do it like about 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, and so it's an entirely different cast of people. Usually my regulars that have been checking in on me, they're going to wonder where I'm at in the morning. I'm going to be driving to Houston. I'm driving to Houston. That's what I'm doing right now. While you're getting up, you're like, where's Javi? He normally goes live right now. I'm on the road to Houston, man. And then I especially had to get it done because I'm going to try to get the video done and out probably by Wednesday, because Wednesday I'm heading on my family vacation. We go up to the Frio River. Every year we take the kids out there and just hang out in the river, splash around, have some good times, play cards, play board games, enjoy the lack of technology out there. I am going to take the laptop just because I do have some writing deadlines that I got to meet. But yeah, man, other than that, it's been a fun July, man. I still got some dates coming up. I got once I get back from vacation, July 24th, I will be in Laredo, Texas, at the rooftop bar in Laredo. You can get with Aaron Suarez, get tickets for those. Check my social media. I'll be putting up some links for that. And then on July 27th, I will be in Austin, Texas, at the Santa Cruz Theater. You can get those tickets on Eventbrite. It's called the Border Laughs, BORDR Border Laughs Comedy at Santa Cruz Theater, Austin, Texas. It's going to be me. It's going to be Aaron Suarez. It's going to be Josh Castro. And a couple other cats that I haven't had the pleasure of working with, but I'm sure they are very funny, and it's always nice to meet new comics from around the state. So check those out. Guys, also make sure you check out my online store. It is originalgordito.com. Up there I got the Puro Pinche Panza shirts, and I also got what else do I got up there? The original Gordito logo shirts are also available up there for anybody that wants them. Send them as a gift, whatever like that. All that goes to help support the comedy dream of one man out here. So check it out when you get a chance. Originalgordito.com, and I'll be putting some more designs up there as soon as possible. All right, guys. So this episode, I didn't have an extra guest. I was gonna say I didn't have a special guest, but she's always special, especially to me. My wife joins me for an extended segment of our Netflix and chat. We had fun. We recorded it earlier tonight, and yeah, it's amazing. I talk to her all day, every day, and yet every week we come up with something that we haven't talked about before. So this time we talk about Bring It On, and we do a Netflix review of the Marlon Wayans show called Marlon. So check that out, guys, and I will see y'all next week on the intro, and I'll see you right now in the Netflix and chat over there. All right, how's it going, Mrs. Luna? How you doing?
I'm good.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
You're looking all comfy in your chair.
I am.
You're looking all alert and stuff because I'm not making you record first thing in the morning.
Yes, I'm a little
this
more
time,
awake now.
It's actually Sunday night.
Yes.
Because I'm not here right now. I'm actually in Houston.
Yep.
So we had to record the night before the night before the original Gordito podcast.
And what's funny is we used to do it that way. We started out recording the night before.
We did, but then you like to Sunday's your chill day.
Yes, exactly.
And we would wait till the last minute.
Yes.
All late, and we'd be tired and ready for bed. And it was boring. And look how much of a difference it's made to our audience. Our numbers are on the way up. Thank you guys for those of y'all that have started listeing on iTunes or watching it on YouTube. People are actually watching us now, so that's great. I'm very excited. I don't know if you're excited or
yes.
not. Do you listen to the podcast?
I do.
Let me ask you that.
I do listen, but not usually right away.
Okay, how long do you have to give it before you?
Sometimes a few days.
Okay.
I think the longest has been a week.
Okay.
Like
That's
I'll
not bad.
listen
That's
the
not bad.
next
So you
week.
normally listen to it that week?
Yes.
Well, because you're not, so it's a little different for you because you're not on the entire podcast.
Right.
Right. So you go and you listen to the intro, I'm imagining, the guest.
So I could
you
see,
listen to your part as well?
I do, and that's so
How does that feel? Have
it's
you gotten used
weird.
to listening to hearing your voice yet?
No, not at all.
Yeah. It doesn't ever get better.
Really? I thought it would.
No. You don't ever get used to that. Like it's just I listen to it a few times a week because I don't want to say OCD because I feel like everyone uses that term like I'm OCD. No. That's it's an actual disability. Like don't take it away from people. Like it doesn't negatively affect my life, but I'm the type of person that when I put a project out, I rewatch it several times, and just because I'm wanting to, I don't know why I'm wanting to see,
like to tweak, for the next time
to get better. Definitely, I think a lot of it that comes from like stand up comedy because that's how you get better in stand up. You record your set, you listen to it, you adjust, and so I will listen to the podcast intently once. But then I'll listen to it on Spotify.
Okay.
I'll listen to it on Anchor and I'll listen to it on Spotify. Normally twice the day it comes out. Like not twice, but like those two times. Once on Anchor, once on Spotify. just because I want to make sure that that nothing messed up.
Oh, like in the transfer or
right,
whatever?
right, exactly.
Oh.
That's just me, and nothing's ever been different. Like it's never like sounded good on one platform and not on another.
I never even would have thought to do that.
Well, and it used to be. I don't do it as much anymore. I used to do it more when we were doing it on the Anchor app and everything had to get spliced together using their software and all that. But not to get too technical with it. But I do listen to it, and then normally like later on in the week, I have my podcast addict. By the way, if anyone's looking for, I like it because it helps me keep track of all the I listen to about 10 to 12 different podcasts. A lot of podcasts. Not every week, but I have my favorites and I'll jump around. But I can put them in queue from the newest to oldest. I can just go to a single podcast, listen to it, and it's a nice way. If you listen to several podcasts, I don't know if our listeners are podcast listeners or they're just listening because they're supporters of us and my comedy. But if y'all are, I hope that we're getting some, because podcast listeners, I feel like it's a demographic that they're tech savvy. They're
on the go.
It's kind of like NPR, but not as fucking boring, I guess, is really what I feel like. It's like you gotta like to listening to people talk. And that's a certain type of person. Some people can't do it. They can't listen to someone just talk. They need music. They need action. They need action movie lovers don't listen to podcasts.
I may disagree because I love action movies.
Okay,
and I listen to podcasts.
Okay, you listen to podcasts. How many hours straight can you listen to podcasts?
I don't know that I've ever counted how many hours straight I could do it.
Okay.
And I can't even tell you that I listen to a podcast every day. So am I just not a true podcast listener? And that's why. Because
I know there's people, I consider myself a podcast fan. I know there's people that listen to just podcasts.
Well, there's certain things
that I like. That's all they do.
Like the Serial podcast and all of that stuff when it first came out. And that's what got me started into podcasts.
The Serial the Serial Killers?
Well,
is that what that's about?
Not really. It's about crime and murder and stuff, but.
So why do they call it Serial?
I don't know. Why do you ask me all these technical questions?
Well, I'm just wondering where the Serial. Well, normally
I think the podcast itself is called Serial. I'm sure they do I think maybe Serial as in series, and there's multiple different series.
Oh, okay. I guess.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know. I've never even heard of this podcast, so I don't know. This is the first
I talked to you about
that I've heard. I thought you just listened to my podcast.
I mean, I do listen to your podcast.
Because you were a listener.
I was
at one point
every week.
I've
listened to every
for
podcast.
The On Blast. You started with the very first one, the one I did with Andy On Blast. You listened to it every week.
Yes, sir.
And then the Vatos Locos was recorded here in your house, so
I heard it twice.
So you always heard it, and now you're on it. You see, ladies, your dreams this could be you someday. Just. When she gets tired of my ass in 15 years,
you then can be on a podcast.
Then you too can be on the podcast. Don't give up hope, ladies. My shit does get old. I'm really good for about like 7-8 years. I'm really charming.
Okay.
I can hold it out for about that long. Then all that, because we're coming up on our anniversary.
We are
actually. We're our second wedding anniversary will be on the 23rd.
Yes.
We're celebrating. Not early. We're going on vacation.
Yeah, we are.
We're going on vacation, and then we're gonna go to Austin. So in between there, I don't know what we're gonna do on our actual anniversary, other than just stare lovingly into each other's eyes. We'll just do that. Yeah, like that. Okay. That doesn't translate well to those listening. YouTube people might be a little bit entertained, but the people on
but they could imagine us staring lovingly.
Yeah. Well, it's different now trying to cater to the video and also the listening audience and remembering that, oh, okay, I got to give them something to watch. I got to give y'all a little razzmatazz. But this doesn't mean anything to the people listening. They just heard me say razzmatazz. They don't know. They could be imagining me doing all sorts of shit. I noticed I did that on the last podcast. I did like an act out of like the dude like sitting back.
Did.
And I held it for like a good like 3-4 seconds, which amounted to 3 or 4 seconds of dead air on the podcast. So I'm sorry if you thought your like Bluetooth fucked up or something. I hope you didn't take your car like in to get checked out. Like that funny. Was it was intentional, semi-intentional. I was doing an act out. It had no sound, and that resulted in you not hearing anything for a minute. So
maybe you need to like play music when you're doing an act out, like when you're editing. And
more editing,
so that they'll know, like, oh, okay, he's acting out right there.
You realize? Did you realize being a podcast listener, like this is not a highly edited podcast?
No, it's not.
But the amount of time that is spent at this computer right here, this is where all the magic happens. By the way, people, this is not just a set. All right, those of y'all watching, this is not you know this is where the work gets done. All right, I'm not like, oh, I got my office over here and that's where I do. No. This is it right here. Did you realize like how much
I really did
goes in just getting the audio, and then normally I take Tuesday off and I don't touch it, and then Wednesday I start working on getting the video out for the week,
right? Which
I've been trying to get it out on Fridays. I want it to come out on Fridays. It's come out the last 2 Saturdays.
Really?
Yeah. But, but it's not my fault. I have it done. It's just the computer takes 10-12 hours to render all that video.
Wow.
By the way, we got new camera equipment.
Yay.
Courtesy of Mrs. Luna.
Yes.
Here. You won us a raffle.
I did.
You won a raffle. And got a new camera. So,
really nice bundle.
So thank you for supporting the cause. So if you notice, you could see our blemishes and like, wow, they're a lot older than I thought they were last week. They've either aged badly in the last week, or that's a new camera there. It's a new camera. So we're in high quality now. Well, I thought we were in pretty good quality. The phone, I was recording it on my phone before, by the way.
And your phone does take really good photos and videos, so.
I mean, I like to think it's a little bit of me too. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a photographer. I'm not into photography. I've tried a couple different times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I worked when I was in college. I worked for the Academic Imaging and Media Center.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Basically, what I did was I delivered TV cards.
You had that long title to deliver TV cards?
Yeah, by the way, that tells you how fucking old I am. When I was in college, we still had to you remember the old school?
Yes.
The carts with the TV?
Yes.
With the safety belt?
Love those days.
That's latched down. You with the TV latched down, not even flat screen, the big old fucking TVs.
In the big box.
You had to request it like a day at a time, and then like a fucking little nerd fucking rolls it. Then everyone gets all excited. Oh, we're watching a movie.
Yes, those are the best days.
Right, and I was the nerd. This guy right here. I would bring the carts in, but it was my work study.
Oh, okay.
That I got assigned, and I worked there for three out of my 4 years. So it started off. Well, I should say this. It started off just being the TVs. Okay. That was our job. So if a professor requested a TV this time, okay, take you in.
So you got paid to just sit and then deliver a TV. And then go sit somewhere.
And I used to do some other stuff. I learned how to change like the lamps on because the PowerPoint projectors were like a new thing. I learned how to do some of that, and I learned how to do some basic maintenance on some overhead projectors. Overheads were still a thing.
Wow.
Too. With the transparency. Learned how to work on those bad boys. So that was the Academic Media Center, right? We handled all the media, and we had like a little theater that the professors could reserve, and I would have to unlock and set that up for them, whatever they needed, blah blah blah. My junior year, we merged with the academic imaging, which handled all the like photography, videography, everything. Those two departments merged, and that's when it became the academic imaging and media center. And then because they brought in like all sorts of fucking badass computers. They brought in fucking G5 Max. Fucking that's when I got to work with Scott Fitzgerald, who's National Geographic photographer. He was our university photographer.
Wow.
He would go and do all like these, like he'd go like camp out in Alaska. Like he'd have like a -20, degree temperature tent or whatever, and go and take pictures of timber wolves or
That's
whatever
so cool.
bullshit. He was a cool dude, and so he used to do workshops there on campus. And part of the work study, then the lady was really gung ho about us like learning the stuff so that we could promote it to the students, and supposed to be a resource, help bring in students to use this stuff that we got money for. And so to use a computer, so they did like a videography course, they did a photography course. So I took a composition, and not like an actual course, and like just a little workshop, like you'd go like for 3 days for like 1 week or whatever. And he just, back then it was like everything was I mean, there was Photoshop, but everything was still, he's like, you do it with your hands, the composition. If you want something backlit, you got to learn how to compose the photography so that it is backlit. You're not gonna go in later and add it with a computer. That's just for fixing. At that time, computers were just for fixing blemishes, adding some effects. But like now, everything's like, oh well, I'll just make it look like that later.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to know how to blur out my back, how to
maybe not as
make
technical.
my focus and have everything everything blurry behind it. That's something that you can do that with a film camera. Right. You just got to know how to do that. Now it's just something that everyone does with a click of a button.
Yeah, I think I could even do that.
Back in the day, I was #no filter.
Stupid.
But anyway, I don't even know how did we get on the editing of the podcast, basically. Takes a lot of time. So those of y'all that
it really does, a lot more time than I anticipated.
Indeed, but it is a labor of love, and like I said, I'm just glad that more people are listening and taking it in. Even if you're just watching the short clips on Instagram, that's been great. The feedback's been good on those.
Cool.
So, and that's kind of fun for me because I get to go back through and like find like, okay, what would be a good clip? And by the way, if you're only watching the short clips, and this probably won't make it, so I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm basically preaching to convert. If you're only watching the short clips, I pick like the second funniest moment.
Okay.
I don't want, because I don't want everyone to be like, whoa, I just watched the little 5-minute clip, and that's probably the funniest thing they said, or the wackiest thing that happened or whatever. Yeah. So I try to pick something fun to that's how I get you in the door. You gotta and get them to,
you gotta do some jazz hands with that if you're gonna do that whole
like that?
Yeah.
Is that jazz hand? No. That's spirit fingers.
Oh, spirit fingers. I thought
they're jazz hands and spirit fingers are they the same thing?
I think they're roughly the same.
Then why didn't he just say jazz hands?
I don't know. That's what I'm
fucking hack. I'm talking about Bring It On. For those of y'all that aren't connoisseurs of fine cinema, like I am,
it blows my mind that how much you like that movie.
I had it on DVD. I worked at Hollywood Video. Mm-hmm. This, by the way, this is apparently the episode where I just talk about all my old jobs. Apparently, I worked at a video store in high school, and I bought it secondhand. They used to after because when a movie was popular, they'd have like 100 copies, and then slowly the popularity would die down. Yeah. So then they'd sell those used DVDs. Yeah. Like once we're done with them, okay, we only need to have 10 on the shelf. I'll Bring It On, not a fucking 100, because everyone's already seen it. Yeah. And so we would do like they do the VHS 4 for $20 and DVDs 2 for $20 or something like that. So I'd get some.
So you had a good collection, I bet.
Oh yeah. I used to have a good DVD, video, VHS collection. I had Bring It On DVD, and so I used to watch that thing all the time because Elizabeth Dushku was That was my shit. That was Bay.
Right really?
There. Yeah. And plus, I thought it was.
I thought you would have went for the blonde.
Plus, oddly enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst wasn't very impressive for me. I mean, she's cute, I guess, but you know. So yeah, Eliza was definitely my shit. But I also thought it was a funny movie. I thought it was well written. I loved the cheerleading puns and stuff like that. I like cheesy.
You just
shit.
like the cheerleaders.
No, it was not. It was not just that. I think it was a very quotable fucking movie.
You do quote it a lot. That's what
I
I'm
don't know
saying.
if I quoted that much.
Yes,
I'm not walking around the house.
You
talk about be aggressive. Be aggressive.
You should.
What is that?
You should do that.
This is a cheer-tatorship, not a cheerocracy. See, that's it. That's all I got.
Maybe you don't quote it a lot, but I feel like you reference it a lot.
I don't think so.
I really do.
No, I don't think I do. I really don't think I know I quote a lot of movies, but I don't. Bring It On's not one of the ones. Why are you lying to these people here? Like, they think, man, he just walks around like quoting Bring It On all day. Like, Bring It On is life. Yes, are the ethnic festivities to your liking?
But really, I really do feel like you referenced it a lot. Why else would that have like stuck out in my head?
I don't know. In your head, apparently, maybe I quoted more than I thought.
I'm laughing so hard I'm crying. That's funny.
Anyway, I do quote a lot of movies. Bring It On. It's not one of them. How did we get on to Bring It On? I don't even know what's going on here. You see, it's because we never drink on this podcast. We're drinking out of the Bailey's glasses
that
I
long
just recently
day.
discovered we had.
It's
been a long day. It's Sunday. It's laundry day.
It's laundry day.
Exciting stuff. We should do that on the podcast. We should just get the laundry out here, fold laundry.
Nice.
Like, not even anything. Like, that's probably like something like there's probably like a guy that would pay to like watch you fold laundry.
Ew.
Like, there's like, yeah, it's just there's shit like that. Like, you're not even doing anything sexual. It's just
normal everyday stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, brush your hair. Women are getting paid to brush your hair. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I get the whole equal pay.
I might have to look into this hair brushing stuff.
I get the whole like equal pay shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like yes, I do believe that men and women should get paid the same amount of money for doing the same job.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I think there's an argument.
Okay.
That y'all can get paid for doing shit that I can't get paid for. So that evens out the play. Just because you choose not to listen, you have the option to make money brushing your hair. No, but I don't care what kind of pervert he is. Nobody's paying to watch me brush my hair.
But you have some luscious hair.
No one. I can't even give this shit away. I go live sometimes. I got like fucking 3 people watching, and I ain't charging shit. This is free. I do fucking 10 hours of editing all week. I can't give this shit away.
That's funny.
But yet there's some little 19-year-old bitch in fucking Nebraska right now brushing her teeth. Made $75.
Wow.
I don't know how much cam girls get paid.
Crazy. That's what it's called, cam girls?
Yeah. I mean, there's the sexual part of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also just like
I've only ever heard of the sexual
watch me do normal
part.
shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am not
some
hip.
real
apparently.
weirdos out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't get it. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't pay even to see the sexual shit. Like, why? It's fucking free.
Yeah.
It's free. Why? Oh, because you can interact. I don't want to fucking interact with that hoe. I don't know that bitch.
Ew.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's stop talking about this.
You want to stop the porn talk?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about cam girls.
Because this is OG at night. because we're recording at night, so we can be a little
more R-rated.
We can be a little riskier, more risque.
Risque.
But it's more risque.
Not riskier.
Not riskier. More risque. We could be a little more risque.
Yes.
Or we could be riskier.
Well, it depends on how you want to sound. Like, do you want to be risque?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be riskier?
What's the difference between risky and risque? Other than just the language that it's in.
I don't have a clue whatsoever.
It's risky business versus risque business. One's is dangerous, like could risky could cause like physical damage, injury.
And risque would be
is sexual in nature. Is that the difference? Maybe. Feel free to email the podcast if you know.
More dangerous,
right? I don't know.
Like it's just more intense, regardless.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's go with that. I don't know what we were talking about that for.
Because it's just that kind of podcast.
Oh yeah, because we started talking about cam girls, and all sorts of weird stuff. Because we had a pretty low key week this week.
We did, yes.
We chilled. We
went to the movies.
We went to the movies once.
Yes.
But we also watched some bootleg movies this week. We went to go see the new Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Far From Home. I couldn't remember.
Not a Netflix movie. But I guess we could talk about it a little bit before we get to our Netflix picks for this week. What did you think, Spider-Man: Far From Home?
I wasn't really excited to go see it, and I love all the Spider-Man movies and all of those things. It wasn't top on my list this time.
You weren't. Was it because Endgame just came out and you felt like I can finally take a breath from all these superhero movies?
I think so.
And I kind of same thing. Mm-hmm. Same. I was like, okay, I'll see it eventually, but yeah, I wanted Endgame to be more of like, okay, man, these movies have been coming out like twice a year now for the last 5 years, once a year before that, and it's just like, yeah, I'm ready for I'm ready not to give Disney my money for like a minute.
How did I know you were going to take it there?
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, they are pretty powerful.
Yes.
As Josh, our son, said. I was talking because you're talking about them like they're powerful. I was like, they are. Like they have serious money, serious clout. Like Disney could crush us all if they chose to, but instead they give us joy.
Wonderful movies.
Yes. I for one am happy living under the Disney regime. Okay, I just want that to be clear out there. Please don't ruin my career or anything Disney. I support. I listen. I just acknowledge that y'all are very powerful, but I'm completely okay with that, and I don't challenge it in any way or shape whatsoever.
I think you covered all bases.
Good. Okay. Just wanted to be clear. And when I talk, because I think this is the second time that I've talked about Disney. I think I talked about it with Melissa Brooke because and I'm like,
yes.
I'm just saying, like they control a lot of aspects of the media. I don't think we realize it, man. Like it's Disney, it's Marvel, it's ESPN, it's ABC. Like they're. They got us, man. They got us by the purse strings. So I was ready. Like, okay, I'm done with the superhero movies, and then. But this one was the reviews were good going into it, so I was excited about that to hear that it was a good one, and I liked it. It was what a Spider-Man movie is supposed to be. It was fun.
Yes, definitely.
It's fun. They're light. Definitely geared towards the kids. They were super safe and sweet. And
well, I missed some of it, so I don't.
Oh yeah, because we took baby. So so you might have to watch it again, but this time on the bootleg because we also watched. Speaking of Disney, not only did we go see Spider-Man, we got you this time, Disney. We watched Toy Story for free. But it's okay because I'm probably gonna end up buying like $100 of toys
probably
before the summer's over.
Because Luis loved it.
Loved it. He's already as soon as he's over. I hope they do a Toy Story 5.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, man.
so
Like I hope they
excited.
do too. They took a while to do this one though, so like, I don't know.
And I kind of feel like they shouldn't have done this one. I was okay with it stopping at
Yeah,
3.
yeah. I think 3 was a nice. Well, it's that thing of a trilogy. It was a
Mm-hmm.
trilogy, man. Let it be a trilogy,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. And it told the story of Andy and him growing up
Mm-hmm.
and going off to college,
It
and
was all wrapped in a
yeah,
nice little bow.
yeah, nice little bow.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see the toys. Toy Story 3 alert. You got to see the toys get passed on to another kid, so you know that they're still alive. They're still out there in your head. They're
Yeah,
still
it's nice.
getting played with. It's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
And then so this Toy Story 4 was one interesting thing that I noticed, and I'm sure there's probably speculation about it on the internet somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a little vibe from Bonnie, like maybe she's like a little bit on the spectrum?
I did not pick that up.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, maybe she's just 4 then.
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
I didn't know that there was that.
I don't know. I don't know if that's an element that they're gonna be, because I know it. With autism awareness and everything, it's on the forefront. So
Yeah.
I think it would kind of be neat, if they kind of went that direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Of having the star, or I guess, is the kid the star of the movie? I guess it's the toys.
It's the toys.
But still, if the main the human in the movie,
right.
To be someone on the spectrum, because it was just stuff that she did a little quirky, but you couldn't really tell like if it was like little kid stuff, but there was like a couple of things, like the meltdown with the fork and stuff like that, and getting hyper attached to stuff that doesn't typically have value to most people, and
Now that you say it that way, I can kind of maybe, because I'm thinking like Louis when he was 4. I can't imagine him doing some of those things at 4. Yeah, so maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anyway, I thought it was curious. The other thing I liked is they didn't hit you over the head with it, but it was there. The whole the taking the badge off of Woody, giving it to Jesse. It she was assigning so definitely that, like, girls can do everything the guys can do, but not hit you over the head with it. It was very subtle and understated, and not really. They didn't make a thing about it.
Yeah.
They were like,
it was sweet.
They didn't have to say it
in your face.
It was just like, this is, she's making the cowgirl the sheriff,
right? Yeah.
The law, and it was also cool kind of see that Woody going from being the favorite toy to just being the one that's not included in all the.
Are you do spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert! I guess is
Toy
it
Story
new? It just came out. Yeah. So spoiler. Well, that's just part of it. I didn't really tell the story. That's just
okay.
That's just basic general thing. It's the transition of him going from being the ringleader to now he's in this new house, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it deals a lot with the being left out factor.
So even
the changing of the guard. Let's say that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. The future is female. That's what I'm trying to say. No, fuck that. The present is female.
There
How about
you
that?
go. There. That's more like
I'm woke.
it.
I'm woke and I stay woke. I haven't even slept.
Because you're so woke.
Because that's how woke I am. Call me anytime, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm awake. Why? Because I stay woke.
Yay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm woke to all of it. All of it.
Yeah,
All sorts of issues. I'm about it. But speaking, but I do have still an old school sensibility, which I like that I'm starting to see more sitcoms.
Yes.
Because I grew up watching sitcoms. I love sitcom type humor, the setup, punch, laugh. I love that.
Absolutely.
And so we talked about Mr. Iglesias, and so I think that put this show. Is it a new? It's not new because it's on its second season already. Was it just for Netflix, or was it from something else? Because it's cut like as if It
like
was
it's
meant
for
to
TV.
Be, for TV because it's got little black. It goes to black where a commercial would be,
have
and then
started.
comes back in. So,
and that's why I loved it because it reminded me so much of the sitcoms we watched as kids.
And for those of y'all wondering what are they talking about? We're talking about the show Marlon.
Yes.
Starring Marlon Wayans. It's great. Got the super catchy.
Okay. You have to sing it.
I'm gonna fuck it up, but basically, let me see if I can remember all the lyrics. Hold on. Marlon. I get it. One take.
Oh, you got it perfectly.
There you go.
That is so funny.
Yeah. Marlon is the name of the show. In case you didn't catch it. And who's it starring? Marlon. I like it. It's a clean logo. It's the word Marlon, but the O is like the YouTube red the red with the arrow, the play symbol.
Oh yeah.
Because he is a YouTuber.
Apparently
that's what he does. He's like this silly dude that makes YouTube videos, and apparently he's really big on YouTube, and that's how he makes his money. So he has time to always be bothering his ex-wife.
Yes.
And I thought that was interesting. I like that because it's also a change. So like I said, it's the old sitcom way, but it's also progressive in the way that it's exploring the before sitcoms were all centered around the nuclear family.
That's what I was just thinking.
Even if they were dysfunctional, Married with Children was still about a husband and wife and married. This is exploring the post marriage, the two household way, but they have like a weird crazy functional dynamic because they still hang out. He still comes out. He still comes over to the house. He
all
has
the
his
time.
own key, and it's Marlon. And if you ever watch the old Wayans Brothers shows, or Marlon he's the more boisterous. He's the more active. He does a lot of physical comedy. It reminded me a lot of like something like the Jamie Foxx show. It was that old BET WB type.
I kept liking it
feel
to Martin.
Martin, it definitely had the aspect where he doesn't get the relationship where he doesn't get along with the ex-wife's best friend, and that dynamic, and he's always cutting her down or whatever. He has the kind of the slacker best friend leech kind of guy, which would kind of be like Cole, I guess. And then he does just the wacky stuff, and then you got the kids aspect too. The kids are hopefully it's not his kids or anything, but they are horrible. They are atrocious.
They really are.
It might actually be one of their kids.
Oh no!
I'm wondering because they're not like they could have cast those kids better, but it might have been on purpose because they always say not to work with kids or animals. That's like because they're so cute and they steal the show.
Oh.
So they might have intentionally got some kids that weren't all that great, so that they
really
that Marlon could remain
the star, the attraction,
the main attraction of the show. Yeah. But it's funny. It kind of explores that relationship of okay, why are we still this close even though we got divorced, and all that. And it's fun. It's wacky. Season 1 ends with a special guest cameo from Boys to Men. What? And you were even impressed. You were like, or no, were you impressed or were you lacking in being impressed because you're like, Boys to Men doesn't have anything better to do than be on this show?
Well, no. I didn't say they didn't have anything better to do than be on the show. I said they didn't have in the show. Them being Boys to Men, they didn't have anything better to do than to show up at a restaurant and sing a song to some guy's ex-wife.
But that's the magic of the show. Like stuff in sitcoms, stuff like that gets to happen,
right?
Because
but for everything else of this show being relatable,
hey, the Beach Boys are just gonna come hang out. We're gonna eat fried chicken with the Beach Boys in my recording studio in this $2 million house in San Francisco that I pay for working as a weatherman. You know,
Yeah,
it's that sitcom magic, man.
yeah.
It's that you know that Tim Taylor had a fucking badass fucking house working for a local cable.
Oh yeah,
Television
the TV show. Yeah.
Apparently, localized cable shows are big market dollars.
So that's what you
in
need
Michigan.
to do, babe. You need to move to Michigan, and then be on a local.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just Michigan based.
Except
Michigan's not that big.
Except I'm not gonna go because Michigan's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kids and I'll stay here,
okay,
and you can just come home.
I'll commute.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right, sounds good.
Because apparently that's good money. Too. Apparently, cops get paid really well in Chicago also. Because the Family Matters house was pretty nice too.
It was.
And Harriet was just an elevator operator. I don't imagine that gets a lot of money. I'm not saying that it's not an important job. I'm just saying I don't see that. It's like it's not skilled labor. Can I say that?
You have to know your numbers.
What's that? I don't know. I'm guessing like back in 1993 that an elevator operator couldn't be making. Maybe it's a union job. Maybe I don't know. I would like to go through the big breakdown of like and I know the numbers are out there like Seinfeld. They were like how much like just or the Friends apartment.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a big one,
yeah.
right? Because they had like fucking really badass fucking New York apartments.
It was
and
huge.
only one of them had a fucking job. Well, Joey too with his acting, I guess that's justified. But like they were the only like him and Ross were the only ones with decent jobs. Oh, Chandler did something.
Chandler
did something. Eventually, Rachel got her job or whatever. What the fuck did Monica do? She was a caterer?
She was and then she became a chef or like a hoity-toity chef or something.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was? You see,
I
don't know. Fucking, they did white people shit. They were just randomly just had money.
Yeah, that's true.
To go to concerts and shit like that. And do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They never got an eviction notice.
Never once.
That's why Good Times was the shit.
Why?
Because it was real shit.
So you just
temporary laid
made
off.
My point.
Good Times. Easy credit rip-offs. Good Times.
You just made my point though.
What?
That was why I made the comment about Boys to Men.
Yeah, it was
because everything else was so relatable, and then they did that.
Was it because
and then it was like really
because it was a cartoonish look at? Okay, I don't care how cool you are with your ex-wife, like y'all could be great and be able to communicate and whatever, but they were barely a year in. Like no one's gonna like put up with that. I don't care how dysfunctional your relationship was.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have an ex-wife, so I don't know.
Right.
But I think that if it
especially that first year, that's the like new like.
But if it just ended not because of some like
well, they
crazy...
didn't even tackle the reason why it ended.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So
other than he was just not dependable.
So maybe that
he was like another kid.
Bad enough to not still have a relationship and get along with them, just couldn't be married to him.
Right. So they're still friends.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything bad. He wasn't a bad husband. He just wasn't a good husband.
Yeah.
I don't know what
like he wasn't a bad man. He just wasn't a good husband.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's what was that? See, that's what I didn't pick up on. I was like, when do they talk about like why they broke up? Because if they get along so well.
Yeah. And they really didn't hit it until towards the end when they started talking about like why they weren't together.
Okay. So they kind of left it like just enjoy the fact that they're hanging out and doing shit. So what did you think? What do you put this episode at? This show at? I'm sorry.
Well, or do you want to do like yet. The season one?
Season one. We're only doing season one because that's all we watched. Or we just started season two. We're only doing season one of Marlon.
I would give it 4 lunas.
4 lunas. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna say the same. I think it's a solid 4. It's a solid 4. The joke writing was good. It was corny, but in the right places.
Yes.
It was new but nostalgic at the same time.
Most definitely.
So it's getting 4 moons from us. So
I'm actually surprised we agreed.
It's on Netflix. Go check it out. We're gonna watch season 2. We probably won't review it. I don't know. Are we gonna give This Is Us another shot? Or not This Is Us. When They See Us. We watched episode 1 of that.
It was very hard.
My blood pressure is high enough as it is, and it's very aggravating. So I wanted to try it just because I've heard everyone
heard really great things
reviews about it, yeah. But it was almost too good.
It's too much,
it's a lot, and we like to keep it light on here.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
So we're going to the river this week. So we'll probably talk mostly about that. Hopefully, I'll have some guests on here. I'm going up to Houston for a couple of days. So if you're watching this Monday night, look for me. I'm somewhere in the city of Houston, getting into some shit. I'll be around. If you're a comic and you want to jump on, hit me up. You know how to get a hold of me, and I'd love to record some sit downs with
nice.
Some Houston comics. So we'll see. We'll see what I come back with. What little treats for the audience I come back with. Baby, thank you for taking some time out of your Sunday night.
Thank you, baby.
In your routine. Guys, we'll see you next week. One love.